Hello, everybody. First of all, let me thank you for all the patience you've had. I am feeling much better since Connor's ashes have been delivered. Because before that happened, every time I would try to fall asleep, I would hear him cry. And now I know it might be, I don't know how much you believe in the paranormal stuff and everything. I mean, I don't know. It might be that. It might be just, a subconscious. Because that's something I cannot believe. I cannot forget. It's how he was crying. And anyway, things are getting a little bit better. I'm able to talk to people without busting out crying. So, of course, a lot of love is going to the remaining two. I do not intend to get a replacement for him. And don't get me wrong, I would by no means say that I'd have preferred any of the other two to go instead of him, but of all three, he was the sweetest and most mannered of all, and the fact that I lost him the way he went like that, it was absolutely horrible. Now, if you're asking what I'm doing here, is that for the filling, I decided to just grab all kinds of metallics that I had and just put them together and chop. Of course, they won't be all the same color, but that's the whole idea. By the way, what I've noticed, especially on Facebook, a lot of the reels, and I would say like at least 95% of them, are about chopping polymer clay and coating it with some sort of acrylic paint, and then putting it together, cutting slices and resining. And don't get me wrong, the results are pretty. It's stuff easy to make, but I don't know why I feel a little bit, not betrayed, but maybe disappointed. It's like polymer clay is an art. It's not just a simple craft, and I know the whole thing is all about how many views and how many likes and how many, but let's try and do something more than just plain chop acrylic slice resin. And I know again that we are in the McDonald type of society now, that everybody wants, if you're not interested in the first 6 seconds, people might leave, and if you don't deliver in the first minute, people might leave. Hi, Elaine. Okay, let me get this to the machine real quick. I did prepare the rest. I want this a little bit more conditioned because the rest is very conditioned. So I'm going to give it a few. And if you're wondering what I'm using this, but you can use the scalpy conditioner. I'm not sure if I still have any here. I don't think I do. Yeah, I do. You can use this scalpy conditioner as well. I just had that one close at hand, so. And one thing, if you're newer to the polymer clay, whenever you apply conditioner of any kind, do not go straight for the machine because it might spurt, and then it's going to get on the rollers and your clay will start doing all this kind of stuff. All kinds of movements, weird. And it might bunch and it might. So first try to do a little bit of hand elbow grease, so to speak. Hi Elaine, hi Christina. And yeah, it feels like forever since I had a public live, but you know, it's been pretty hard. And we also had that cooler front coming in, so it was kind of rainy, kind of lower barometer-ish type of weather. Apologies about this, but I didn't realize that these mixes were so dry, and I do need them to be a little bit more conditioned, because you can imagine with the Skinner blends, if I don't condition them properly, I'm going to have a lot of wastage in my cane. Now, let me be a little bit more precise for people who are newer to my channel. A brocade cane is a cane that has a repeated pattern in a specific style, and that is, we start with a triangle, but different than most of the other canes. The brocade cane has a small design in each of the corners of the triangle, so that when you put it together and you keep flipping, I will show you how to do that, you create a brocade pattern. This is how the brocade pattern usually is. And I think I'm good to give me just 4 or 5. I needed 6. All right, so what I started with is white and wisteria. Good morning, Sharon. White and cadmium yellow, and white and burnt umber. Now, I'm not sure if it's very noticeable on the screen, but the color is very stretched. It's almost to the end where the white is. So what I'm going to do here in a minute is to create little plugs. But before I do that, I need to do something else. Sorry for the delay. I need just a little bit of black. And if you're going to be wondering, are you sure you want black? Yes, I'm sure I want black. I need to get black. This is my last. Of course, I do have the blackout from Kato, but I need to prepare some. Alrighty, so now we can start. So my first thing will be to get all of these in a long strip. And as usual, before I do this, I make sure that they are well stuck together. Yeah. And it is and if you're wondering what the heck did I do all this week and stuff, well, number one, I managed to completely switch to getting my Ozempic shot Wednesday instead of Friday, so I shouldn't have any more issues over the weekend with being sleepy. I see. Yeah, no, you didn't. And then the other thing that I did housework. I did cleaning because for some reason, I don't know how it is with you, but with me, when I clean, it's enough mind numbing that I cannot think of other things, and it makes me be, what the heck, it makes me able to take my mind off things, because yeah, I could watch movies or stuff, but I still would stop from time to time and remember, even if there might nothing be in the movie that would be connected. But now I'm doing it like this, but you can do it as a regular you know, the one when you make it narrower and you simply make a squarish plug that has one end with a darker color and the other end with a lighter color. It's entirely up to you. One thing that I did watch now a lot was documentaries about the universe, because for some reason whenever I'm in a funk I watch those and everything else seems so small and unimportant compared to what's going out there, you know. And my last one, this would be the one with the burnt amber. I'm not even sure if it's burnt amber or burnt sienna. There are so many. It's the darker brown. Okay. And yes, with generally with dark browns, whenever you mix them with white, you get kind of a sort of a pinkish beige. Alrighty, and this will be the last one. And on all three of them, I'm going to do the barbed cane, which I don't know why it's called barbed, because it doesn't really look like barbed. And I do have a tutorial on that. It's an older tutorial, but if you go on my channel and use the search function and just put in there barbed, you will find it, and I'm showing several ways of using it. Alrighty, so I made them a little bit taller so I can actually speed up this whole process, because one thing that I'm going to do first is to cut them in two. It's going to give me a little bit of a speed on what I need to do, because we need to do one of those ikat effects. So this from the barbed cane is going to be sped up. Okay, so as usual, I'm going to hold, pull, and make sure you get it off a little bit. Because this part will stay behind a little. So hold, pull. So what you're doing, you're pulling the colored edges. So see, you have this and you're pulling this edge and this edge forward. So you hold it like this, you catch the edges with these fingers, and you pull, and at the same time you flatten a little bit, and then you come back to widen this part. It's quite easy to do movement. It's not that difficult. And I know it might look a little sloppy, but that's the whole intent. I mean, the idea is to make flower-like stuff. And there you go. Once you do this, you're going to just make sure that they are all kind of the same length. You can pull a little bit. It's okay if some of them are a little bit thinner than others. That's the whole idea. to get, because you know how flower petals, they do have sometimes a little ikat type effect. And if you don't know what that is, again, please search my channel. And I know I have a playlist done with basic techniques, but if you just search ikat, I-K-A-T, you should find tutorials with that, because there are all kinds of tutorials with all kinds of techniques. Some of them are more basic, some of them are more advanced, but they are all there. Okay, so now I'm going to just, and make sure that you flip it, because if you don't, the part that's on top is going to get much more flattened. As you can see here, this was on top and it gets more flattened, so you need to flip all the time. So I'm going to do this just a little bit more. And then cut, see what we get, and then stack, repeat until it gets much thinner. This needs a little bit more. It's okay if it gets a little bit uneven, it's just fine. And I'm going to leave it like this because I'm going to need like 2 or 3 parts of each of these. They'll be kind of sort of like petals. Let me know if you can hear me well. Okay, and the same thing for the other 2. This time I'm going to try and move a little bit faster because I already explained. And now I realize that I probably should have done 2 of them ahead of time, just show you the 3rd one. But hey, you know, hindsight is always 20/20. Just make sure that you do bring it forward quite a bit, so you'd get those pretty lines. It looks to me, I don't know, my quality doesn't seem well enough. It looks a little grainy. I didn't change any setting. I'm gonna have to do something about that. I'm having no dropped frames by what the thing is telling me here. And I'm going with around 10 megs per second, so I don't know why that is. And I have 60 FPS, so it should be good, but apparently, I don't know, I'm not very happy. Doesn't it look to you a little bit grainier than usual? Not very HD, I don't know how to explain it otherwise. No, but I don't know why. Cause on my On my end, on the camera itself, on the camera view itself, it looks fine. It's just on the YouTube one that it doesn't. I don't know what's going on. I'm doing this twice for each of them, and on the second time I'm doing it, it's going to leave it a little bit longisher. That's not a word, I know. But you know what I mean. And yes, you can make leaves as well if you want. I'm just here. I'm just showing you how you can obtain this effect and how pretty it's going to look. Another thing you can do, you can mix some glitter, or you can do this with, if you want to make it look even more brocade-ish, you can simply use metallic / pearlescence. Okay, the last one. We are supposed to get rain today as well. Yeah, maybe. I don't know, it's nothing I can do on my end. I told you in my OBS window. It looks okay, and so do the stats, because it tells me how fast I'm uploading, how my FPS, that's frames per second, and right now 60 frames per second is the highest that goes for HD. I hope maybe once it gets processed and uploaded, it will get a little bit better. Who knows? Who knows? Alrighty, so almost done here. Sorry that I didn't think of doing this again ahead of time. And again, it's okay if they are not all exactly the same, because that's the whole idea of the ikat effect. You can make them even thinner than this. Go for a third time. Stacking. Just make sure that you put them together with the dark part on one side and the white part on the other. And if you decide to go with pearlescence instead of plain ones, do not use entirely white pearl. Make like a I would say, considering the 1.5 inches cutter, like 1 part white pearl and then half white and half translucent. I had forgotten if I already did one, but I guess I did. Okay, because if you do it just with plain white pearl, it might get a little bit too dark, and you do not want that. So now I'm doing the last one. That's going to be and I'm going to go, usually when I start a cane, I like to go anywhere between 3/4 of an inch to 1 inch height. For me, it's the easiest way to reduce. For some people, it needs to be a little bit taller in order to be able to reduce it. So it's all entirely up to you how you want to deal with that. Alrighty, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab 3 of these and I'm going to round them up. Not entirely round them, but you see what I'm doing? I'm flattening this part. And make sure that they are all, let me get this wastage out of here, and make sure that they are all the same height. They are a little bit taller than an inch, but that's going to be fine. And the same here, but on these ones I'm going to divide them differently. Wastage off, and again 3. This one I'm going to entirely round it up because I'm going to actually go with top and bottom to where the whole thing is. So kind of sort of the way it was, but round it up a little bit and then diamond it. It's just a little difference that makes not all of the petals look alike. So you don't even have to round it all the way. I might even round some of the petals. Okay. And then the third one, I'm going to completely round them up. Okay, so I have these done. My next thing is to very fast get one. Chop these. This is all the metallic I had. You don't even have to chop them super thin. Come on, get off. But if you want to not have any any kind of deformation on the flower petals, you kind of do need to chop properly. And this is going to give a very brocade-ish, because you know brocade is usually made with silk, and silk, whenever gets that effect, that is quite similar to mica shift. So this is why I'm using this, and this is why I told you if you want you can use the pearlescence instead of regular clay. But the same thing you can use instead of what I'm using, this mix metallics, you can just use just black, or I would recommend a darker color. Black would be the best. Do not use white. You can use an alizarin crimson, but it has to be more of a rich color. Of course you can use a dark brown, but once again I wouldn't use light. Most of the brocades are in gold or rich burgundy or rich green. Some of them are rich blue. That is kind of sort of similar to ultramarine, but more kind of like a mix of ultramarine and navy, if you have any of these colors. And again, if you need ideas about mixes, please refer to my Pinterest. You can get to my Pinterest if you check on my channel. And there is this, well, if you go to my channel and it says more on top of that one, it's on the about thing. It has the link to my Pinterest, and I have a whole ton of recipes there that are organized by, you know, my organizing thing. Alrighty, so I'm going to place a little bit of black on the very ends. On the darker ends. And just here. So like this, and the black is on a very thin setting. And then I'm going to kind of sort of, so this would be one triangle. One of the triangle corners, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to place this here, so I need a cutter. See how I cut part of this, and then this comes here. So this will be one of the triangle corners. I'm just covering this to create the triangle. Oops. It's like dealing with regular clay, the way that you fill this up here. Okay, so I got one of the triangle corners. Now the second one, the same thing. I'm going to use some black. Definitely my machine needs cleaning. Okay, so for the next one, pretty much the same thing. So you don't want it to be all the way, you just want half of it. Hi Silver, it's okay, you still got on, and even if you don't, you can always watch it once it's uploaded. It takes about 5 minutes from the time I'm done to the time it's processed and uploaded. So the only thing it's that you miss, it's actually being able to converse with me live. Okay, so this time I'm going to, let me see, do I have one that's a little bit bigger than the others? Maybe this one. So I'm going to cut like this and like this. So now I can go and have my triangle and fill it up. I bet you it's the first time that you see this sloppy chopped stuff in a cane. Okay, and I need the edges here. Okay, this wasn't supposed to happen. We do not like that. And we do not need that. Okay, the second triangle, and now now the third triangle. As I said, this is going to be a little bit rounder, so I'm going to go like this. And cut. And then again. And you can make them all the same. You don't have to. You don't really have to get differences. Again, this will be the triangle, and we are going to fill this up. And then with this, I'm going to make a fourth triangle. And you'll see why in a second. There we go. Hey. And this needs to be a little bit smaller. And there we go, we have a full triangle. She's a little hard, but it's also probably my hands and let me see what's the parameter saying right now. Oh, it says none available. Let me see the closest. Yeah, it's not bad. It's okay. Talking about, I don't know if I told you, but my primary care doctor is absolutely fabulous. I mean, she works a lot of overtime. Most of the time we discuss my issues, and she even may call, not just through texts and messages on the portal. It's usually Sunday after 8 p.m. But she is absolutely fabulous. And I asked her to, because you know, when you get referrals, they kind of need to be renewed every year. And I asked her to not forget to send me a referral for the sports and medicine center where I go get the shots in my on the base of the thumb. And I think she puts a lot of fear in her nurses and assistants and stuff, because I got no less than 3 calls from 3 different people trying to get me an appointment already. And I tried to explain, please stop calling me because I need a referral for when I'm hurting. I'm not hurting yet. Are you sure you don't want to make an appointment? No, I'm sure that I don't want to make an appointment because I'm not hurting. So I don't know when I will be hurting. Usually it happens in October, but I'm not sure yet. So it made me laugh of how committed people are to do her thing, you know. Okay. I'm not going to do more reduction than this right now because it hurts. But I'll be able to show you the whole thing, how it looks. It's a bit more of an unusual thing. And I'm cutting 4 slices just to show you how the whole thing is done. So the way that it works, it's going to create these designs. As it repeats, you can see that this repeats here, then this will repeat here, like this. This will repeat here, and then the other one will be this one, this one. Let's get it. So every time you need to flip. You can see, so you'll have 3 different flowers repeating. But as I said, I apologize, but I cannot reduce more. My hands are starting to hurt. But this is, actually, let me trim some of this so I can use them also. Let's see. This is this. And you can kind of sort of see. This is how it's going to look. And see the flowers, if you do it the way that I told you, I showed you, not told you, they will look quite gauzy, quite ethereal, and you can imagine how it's going to look. And this, you cannot see it now, but let me actually get a little piece on a something. But you cannot see it now, but I don't think it's going to work properly. But when if you put resin on it, let me see. If I refocus, see the in between, and you don't, once you sand and buff, it's going to look exactly like if with resin. Let me actually put a little resin on this so you can see how it would look like. I'm going to burnish it a little. That's not what you're supposed to do. I'm just trying to get me a perfectly flat, so I can see the effect of glasses. No, there they are. I found them. I've been consolidating stuff because I want to. I didn't do that all summer, obviously, because of the heat, but I want to actually sand Elaine some stuff. And I've been consolidating some canes that I want to add. I'm not going to go all over I'm just going to cover the part with the mica shift effect so you can see. Let me get it really quick to cure. But yeah, this is the whole idea of this type of brocade cane, and I did do, let me try and find it. I did do at least another the triple effect brocade cane. It's actually 1 in 3 parts that was on a and this one was on black. Let me give you the effect. But if you search on again on my channel, you can search. It's actually not black, it's more of a dark bronze-ish. Let me actually show you how to search. Oh, come on. Okay, so if you go to my channel, it's going to look like this. And you have here, there's the playlists, and which are kind of organized as much as I can, but you can search, and if you search, let's say brocade, so you get all the times I did brocade effects. And this is the barbed cane. But anyway, let's get back to what the heck? Alrighty, so no more display. Sorry, I got lost in translation here, so let's check this in a close-up so you can see the exactly why I advise you to use the metallic slash pearlescence. There you go. So the same thing that you see on the background here, if you use pearlescence instead of regular clay, will show on your flowers as well. So okay, so this was it. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you will try yourself as well, and I shall see you next Sunday, and hopefully I'll be able to get back on track. If not this week, maybe next week, but I need to get back on track. Thank you so much for your support once again, and I hope you have a wonderful week to come and have a wonderful life and good weather and good health. Thank you. Love you all. Bye.